you're live.
We're live. Do you need mine?
Okay, live on TikTok in 3, 2,
2, 1. Hello, social media universe.
Just remember TikTok language.
TikTok language.
TikTok language.
Got to watch your P's and Q's.
Yes.
Mostly your R's and S's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Kate has a problem spilling the beans on the truth. That would be just the worst. That'd be the worst thing we could do. Do you need my phone for anything?
Yeah, to read TikTok.
Are we live on Instagram? All right. It looks like we are live on Zoom. We're live on, Zoom, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube.
Yep.
Wow.
And anybody on Facebook, the link to the Zoom, if you would like to join, will be in the chat.
Should I drop it in the chat here?
Yeah, that'd be good.
What do? I just grab the invitation or the URL?
Just grab the URL and then you can post it right there.
Look at me just doing tech stuff. We're doing tech things here. Yep, I am not the CTO of the company, clearly. Clearly. Okay.
Some people from TikTok saying hi.
Hello, people from TikTok. Hello, TikTok universe, veterans from TikTok. It was so awesome. We had a veteran in the Oceanside office the other day. He was talking to Brianna. And I walked by and I could tell he recognized me. So I came in, I said hello, and he said, hey, are you going to be live this Thursday? I was like, yes, I will be. So hopefully that gentleman is on with us live today. Live. 4 more people entered the room. How do I let them in? I'm like, I need more skills. I need more help here. Okay. Do we have everybody in? All right. We got our team going here. Okay. Hello, participants. Gallery view. Very good. Okay. So I know we don't have a ton of people on with us yet. So we're going to wait a minute or two and I'll introduce myself and the company and what we do. And we're going to have fun together today. And what does this say? Hello, VetComm. Hello, Buick. I doubt that's your real name. Steven, I just want to know how much more I need to pay. I already dropped like $3,500 with re-medical just to get to 90%. Okay, Steven, it looks like you're on Facebook, sir. I'll go ahead and answer your question first. I just want to know how much more I need to pay. I already dropped like $3,500 with re-medical. That is not us. Just to get to 90%. So re-medical does a whole different type of thing than we do. A lot of what they do centers around Nexus letter mills and other things, other tactics that they use to try to get you to 100%. They got you to 90%. So that's the good news. There are more expensive services that will charge you 12 to 15. So, $3,500 isn't insane, but it's way more than you would spend here. In fact, it's almost 3 times more. So with VetComm to 90%ers, we offer 3 rounds for a 90%er to get you to 100%. A lot of strategy comes in here, but Stephen, it would cost you either $1,200 one time, 3 payments of $500 or 6 payments of $350. That's the 3 ways that you can participate with us. But if we can't do what we say we can do, you're going to end up getting your money returned to you. That is how sure we are we're going to do what we say we can do. I don't know anybody better than moving the needle from 90 to 100, as going from 90 to 100 is essentially a whole new 100% to tackle. So it does take quite a lot of strategy. Here we have Roseanne asking, how long does it take for a VA judge to decide the outcome or make a decision on a claim? So there's a big difference between a judge and just a regular rater adjudicator. I have to imagine you could be in a higher level review or something, which is why you asked that question. It can take a year to 18 months if you're in a higher level review situation. Most veterans, we would not go the higher level review route unless we thought it was necessary. We would likely do a supplemental claim, because when you get denied, what you really need is a new shiny piece of evidence or something new to breathe life into that claim. So we would probably go the supplemental claim route for you. But if you started with us on a supplemental claim, it would likely take you about 120 days to find success.
Brandon Wisco from TikTok, who's our number 3 most loyal viewer.
Hello, Brandon,
TikTok.
loyal viewer.
Hi. He might be number 1 actually, but he asked how long does it take to go from stage 5 to 8? From stage 5 to 8,
it could take a day. It could take weeks. We have had people get rated in 32 days. We've had people get rated in 6 months. It really just depends on the body of your claim. How many things are the raters and adjudicators looking at? But once you get to stage 5, typically in our process, in 2 weeks, you could go bang, bang and be rated. It just sort of depends on what noodles you threw at the wall and how much work that they have to do. But I would say you're close, probably within 30 days of being adjudicated. Hello, Michael Dobo. Thank you guys for taking my story and taking my claim. Yes, we love you, and we will get you some help. Let's see. Roseanne says it's been 6 months. She had everything. You could be very close. You could be another 6 months. What I would do, anybody that's watching us on any of the platforms now, we do offer every single veteran what we call a free claim review. This is so that we can have a conversation with you, and we're going to start at the top of your head, go down to your feet, inside and out, and your psych, and we're going to say, hey, what disabilities are you rated for, if any? What are you not rated for? What do you think that you would like to claim? We're going to help you find some things you didn't even think of. And we're going to say, hey, I think based on what you told me, you're probably owed X, Y, and Z, and it should take X number of days. And here's how we do it. And we're going to give you the opportunity to use VetComm. And how it works with VetComm, which is very different than everyone else, because there's many ways to make a claim. You could do it yourself. If you wanted to do it yourself, probably wouldn't be here listening to me. You'd be doing it yourself. You could do it with the free service, the DAV, VFW, American Legion, but a lot of you have tried free and realized that it's very costly. Because if you only end up with $170 when you're really owed $4,000, I would say that's not really very free. That would cost you about $2 million in lifetime income for free. Okay. Or you could go with VetComm. We're going to get you enrolled. We're going to make sure you can use Zoom. Make sure you get on va.gov, make your intent to file. We're going to file your claim with you from the comfort of your own home. Then we're going to prepare you for every single exam, because that folks is the winning recipe. Making the claim correctly so you even get an exam. And then once you get the exam, making sure that we prepare you to go to war with the VA so you understand, who am I going to meet? What are they asking me? Who is this person to me? What do I need to say, be, look like in order to win? That's really the winning recipe. That usually takes us about 120 days or less. Our average first rating is 70%. I think just this week we got about 30 people to 90 or 100% from zero. That is lunacy. That is crazy. Last year we helped 10,000 people. This year we're likely to help 25,000 people this year. We help more people per capita than any other organization. Questions?
Yes. Josh from TikTok asks, what is a common percentage for C6 disc replacement?
A rating for it?
Yeah.
So back ratings, we'll just talk about your back ratings, everything from say the top of your back to the bottom of your back. A lot of times they want to only give you 10% to start with. Then we want to move the needle to 20. If it really is impactful to your life, the upper end rating typically for back would be 40%. It depends on how debilitating it is. But I would tell you guys watching, if you get your back rated, let's say your lower back is rated and you have some sciatic problems. Now we can get neuropathy and radiculopathy, and those should each be worth 20. And maybe we can get it for both legs, right? A 20, a 20, a 20, a 20, and a 20 or a 40. You stack that up. Now you start to really get paid. That's why the strategy comes in. I would tell you, if you're watching, we're going to give you that free claim review. Cost you nothing. You're going to get quite a lot out of it. I'd like to see you be texting free claim review to 858-360-2227. 858-360-2227. There's all of our team members. We have 140 people that work at this company. We serve time zones around the world, 12 hours a day. If you type free claim review to 858-360-2227, someone will grab that immediately and get it to the claim review team, and they will have an excellent conversation with you. Go ahead.
On Instagram, we have International. I was issued a CPAP in 2022. Went to the exam and was told denied. The VA never asked for my sleep study reports, and I think that's why I was denied. The National Guard did ask for it, and I've given it, I assume. Oh, it says, what are my options here?
Okay, so let's just talk about sleep apnea for a second. In August, which might as well be tomorrow, August is so close. Okay. So if you're trying to claim sleep apnea, whether you've been denied or you've never claimed it before, you better get on the horse and get racing in this race right now, because what they want to do is say, okay, yeah, you have sleep apnea, but you have a CPAP machine, so you don't even really have the symptoms anymore. So we're going to rate you. We're going to give you 0%, which means you don't get paid for it. Okay. That's not what you want. You're trying to get that bigger thing. You're trying to get that 50%. I would comment free claim review and text it to 858-360-2227. This person specifically that asked this question, why don't we take a look at the evidence that you have and figure out why they denied you and see if you didn't even get an exam. There's an easy way back in. We'll do a supplemental claim. We'll take that evidence that you have, deliver it to the VA and get you paid. But you don't want to wait, because if you sit on the sidelines, on the bench, on the trench, watching and not winning, you're not going to get paid. And the whole point of going to the VA is to get yourself paid by the VA and get some respect and some closure. So while you are thinking about it, you could be losing $100 a day. No more waiting. Let's start rating. Text free claim review to 858-360-2227. More questions?
On YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
You got
Scott.
Yeah.
Hi, Scott Burns, current VetComm customer. Thank you, Scott, for being a VetComm customer. Stopping in to say hi. I'm at 90%, just had a CMP exam. Now we wait. Yes, we do wait. But you're already at 90%. I would guess in less than 60 days, we'll see a rating from you. Thanks for stopping by today. You, Paul. I'm at 100%, but actually 74. So I'm at 70. I made some mistakes. So how many times do you give before you give money back? It doesn't take 10 years. So for us, typically, if you have a rating and we make a claim for you and it does not go well, we go back again to them. You get up to 3 tries with us. So just because you throw a noodle and it doesn't stick doesn't mean the next noodle won't stick. Okay. Sometimes you take a shot, the round misses. We take the next shot and the round lands. So we're not just going to bail on you during the process just because you lost once. You can count on occasionally losing with the VA. That's the strategy, because they know we get so pissed off and anxious that we'll just walk off, and they want you to do that. That's why you get help. That's what, because we can keep our hand on your shoulder and say, nope, we're going back. We're keeping in the fight, and we're going to go get paid. Steven says, can you put the number in the chat? I absolutely can. I'll do that now. 858-360-2227. Text free claim review. There's a whole group of staff who love you and can't wait to speak to you. We should be seeing more free claim reviews. Do you have any more questions?
K-Dog on Instagram.
K-Dog, hello.
Says, can a veteran reservist get disability rating?
So there are lots of reservists, guard members that come to us. It is a little bit of a complicated question. That's why you would probably want to text free claim review, because we need to see when and where did you serve? When did you get hurt? Was it a time when you were activated? Was it during training? There's a lot to unpack there. But the good news for you is I would say that about 85% of the customers that come to us from the guard or reserves, we find a way in to get you rated for something. Does every guard member or reservist get to 100%? No, they absolutely don't, but neither does every single veteran. But we typically will find a way in. If you try to go in the front door, it doesn't work, we'll go in the side window or the screen window in the back. We will put together a winning strategy for you.
From TikTok, Patrick asks, how hard is it to get a Vietnam vet rated?
How hard is it to get a Vietnam vet rated? What if I told you we recently got a couple of World War II veterans rated? If we can get some World War II guys done, we can get you done. We get the oldest person we ever got a rating for was 99 years old. I got to think he's probably older than you. Vietnam era veterans. The cool part for you is since the PACT Act and all these other presumptive things came out, if you served there during that time, there is like 20 things that are low-hanging fruit that we can get you rated for. Never think you've been out too long. Never think it has to be perfect and has to be this and that. The VA wants you to believe it's too late, that you don't qualify, that you don't have your crap together, that the ship has sailed, and that's absolutely nonsense. And I want to address something with you that occurred to me the other day. If the VA can convince you that if you claim your mental health that you'll lose your guns, you probably won't claim it, right? If the VA can convince you have to have your records that you'll never get, you probably won't make a claim. If the VA can convince you that you don't deserve it, you probably won't claim it. So you got to think, where does all the propaganda come from? Who does it benefit if I believe all this stupid nonsense? It benefits the VA. You can say that they have spent more money doing these negative marketing campaigns against you and your psyche than they have spent paying you. They have spent more money to scare you than they have paying you. And that will stop under my watch. We are doing so much in Washington. In fact, I was on Fox News last night talking about this Tijuana water crap that's going on at our border. I go out and visit homeless veterans. We go and lobby. Lee Zeldin from the EPA is meeting with me personally on Tuesday. He's coming all the way out from Washington, D.C., and we're going to have a little chitty chat about how this water crap here in San Diego will be the next Camp Lejeune water thing. We take what we do here at VetComm very seriously. We are flat the best at what we do.
Michaela from TikTok.
Hello, Michaela.
Asks, what if we never claimed anything during active service?
I would say, and all of the, our staff that's here on Zoom looking at me, they're laughing because they're like, yeah, you and every other person that comes to us, we so rarely have any evidence to work with. The cool part for you is that millions of veterans have gone before you and they had your same job. They served in the same time period. They got the same type of injuries. They went before you and set a precedent, meaning that millions of people have claimed their bad back, their bad knees, their assaults, and all these other horrible things. And they paved a way for you to prove to the VA that it's 50% or more likely that you got hurt in service. So I wouldn't worry about having the evidence, especially if it's on an MST. If you have been assaulted in any way, there's a high likelihood you didn't do much about it in service because you were too scared to, because it's so oppressive. I went through that myself. Can you let the dog in? Because my tiny dog, my service animal who's supposed to be servicing me, needs service apparently. Come here, buddy. Let's say, come here. Come up. Let's say hi to our friends. Oh, there he is. If everybody had one of these, we'd all be so much less anxious. Except for he's anxious. He needs anxiety pills. I would not worry about that at all. Comment free claim review, text it to 858-360-2227. We would love to have a chat with you. I wouldn't worry about the evidence. See, if you wait till it's perfect, you'll never do it. You'll sit in this analysis paralysis, hoping that you get your crap together. We're just not going to. So just give that stuff to me. Let me package it nice and neat and send it to the VA and get you paid.
Got a question from YouTube from Charles Russell.
Hello, Charles.
He asks, how much do you evaluate our military and personal medical records?
So we don't evaluate it on the front end. Our front end personnel are going to have a conversation with you. You're going to tell them what happened to you and talk to them about your evidence. They're going to do an analysis of what you're owed. That part happens when you make your claim. So you're going to send in the stuff that you want to use as evidence. They're going to review it with you. So they're going to open it up and you guys are going to look at it together and then create a strategy around it. They're going to say, this is a great piece of evidence. This is not a good piece of evidence. Why don't you go grab me this? Or, hey, this looks amazing. And then they're going to sort of rip through, whether it's your My Healthy Vet records, your records from service, and we're going to find all the nice gritty things that we need. But again, if you don't have all this great stuff, don't get too bogged down in it. I think I have something from Gilbert. It says I'm at 60% now. Well, you should be at 70, 80, 90, or 100. Please text 858-360-2227. I have Richard here. VA had me do a CMP exam for claims they denied, but they were grouped under TBI. How can they not open those claims back up and give me a rating? They can't open them back up. We need to separate them into different things and probably do a supplemental claim. If I were you, I would comment or text 858-360-2227, free claim review, and let's look at why they were denied. Rory says, what if a veteran has existing disability and wants to get some increase and add secondaries as well as new claims? Do you claim all secondaries or just the ones with existing primaries? So we're going to claim all the things that make sense together. It's called waterfalling. If you already have a rated primary, there's always going to be a couple of secondaries that you can put in. Now, sometimes you have a primary, a secondary, and a secondary to the secondary. So on our first pass, let's say you're at 50% and we're trying to get you to closer to 100, but like your mental health is underrated. We probably want to pick that apart. We have some orthos that are underrated. We want to pick that apart. We have some orthopedics that have secondaries that aren't rated. We want to add those in. That's where that strategy comes in. So for Rory, you got probably a lot to unpack because you asked a very good question. If I were you, I would text free claim review so we can actually have a conversation. 858-360-2227. And I would say this to everybody who's watching. We'll take a break for 1 second, because if you're watching me talk right now, you took time out of your day to listen to me, probably because you're wondering, am I owed more? Should I go after it? Can people help me? You're vetting the process, whether you should do it or you're vetting us. Because you're on here today, taking time out of your day, we're going to reward you for that when you participate with us. But what you need to do, because we get a discount for people who are on the live right now, you need to get on the I was on the live list. Okay. Text in free claim review to 858-360-2227. Last week when we did this, 200 people wrote in, and we have already talked to almost all those people, and a ton of them, some of them we already made the claims for since last week. So if you're sitting there still in this analysis paralysis, text free claim review 858-360-2227. If you move forward, there will be a discount given for today. I have heard a lot of people having a high percentage for anxiety. The VA only gave me 10%. That's way too low. So if we're talking about mental health and you have a 0, a 10, or a 30, it's way too low. And for the most part, if you've been rated for quite a long time at 50% for PTSD, MST, anxiety, depression, all of these things, you likely, if you had a good CMP exam and knew what to say, you could move that to 70. So anybody at less than 50% for mental health, you're underrated. Period. Because the criteria to get that is like nothing. Most people should be 50% or higher. Any advice on how go about filing mental health regarding depression and anxiety? I'm at 90%. My best advice right now for you, well, it's under memes, so I sort of doubt that that is a real name right on YouTube. I would say text 858-360-2227, and let's figure out if you're already rated for the depression, how we can move the needle on it, and we will give you that advice on that call.
On Instagram, we have afelt29 says, I'm at 70% and they denied me tinnitus, hearing loss, and a few other things.
Okay, so you're those of you wanting to do tinnitus and hearing loss, sometimes we get so focused on these, what we would call little fruit. The way to get to 100 is, let's say you have a bowl and it's empty at first. You don't want to fill the whole bowl with grapes. Like you're never going to fill the bowl up. Okay. You can't just get a bunch of 10s. It's like you're never going to get there. So you got to go after things that are bigger than 10s. We got to move the 10s to 20s to 40s. We got to move 0s to 20s. If we're not claiming our mental health, that's an easy 50 to 70. We want grapefruits, peaches, plums, no grapes, no blueberries, no raspberries, no tiny fruit. So I would say to you, if you have other things that are denied, we can probably go win you one of the hearing loss or tinnitus and some of those orthopedics that are small, because there's a lot of ways to skin a cat. You could rate them small and stack them tall and get to 100 and get paid the same as somebody who got to 100 for mental health alone. So I would let's fire all the rounds at the right time and get all the fruit in the bowl and then have our winning process. Roy says, so I already started my process with y'all, still getting updated doctor's letters. I got my stepson to start with y'all. Good job, Rory. Thank you, sir. If you need any help for us, there's a ton of people on right now. So if you want to comment in, if you need anything from us, you have the number 858-360-2227. Anything else?
No, for now, no.
Okay, so we don't have any questions. You do have a question? I thought I was going to say something. Go ahead.
We've got RP850 on Instagram says, any information on asbestos, explosives, and Navy ships?
So anything that has to do with ships, whether it's asbestos, you running up and down, the planks. We had a guy that was in a typhoon. A lot of you have drank water that has freaking jet fuel in it and completely ruined your gut and gave you cancer. There's so many things. And one of the number one things that people don't think about being on a flight line is the anxiety that happens when you are at the constant state of ready. Like, I hope we fix this plane well. I hope they take off. I hope they land. I hope I catch it in time. And you're like so worn out and tired. That constant state of ready gives you long-term anxiety exposure, and you should be rated at 50 to 70% just for that. So if you served on a ship for a long period of time, you probably have 5 very easy things that you could win just by nature of you having been on that ship.
I see from Facebook Ryan Campbell asking what percentage is the burn pit thing getting people?
So the burn pit thing, the burn pit thing doesn't necessarily get you anything. It's what you claim under burn pits, right? Like how did the burn pits affect you? Did you get some cancer, sinusitis, rhinitis, stomach issues, all these skin issues? There's so many things that you could get. So each of those comes with a different percentage. If we're talking about, say, stomach issues, GERD and IBS should be rated at 30%. Skin conditions usually 0 to 10 to 20%. So it kind of depends on what the things are. If you want a strategy on that, though, I would text in free claim review to 858-360-2227.
Seeing another comment from Facebook from Rory. How does someone get a job with you?
Rory, text in, I want a job to 858-360-2227. That's probably the fastest path. There's a lot of people on here who could help fast track you to the people who could get you a job. Here we have Dirty Dan says, do you guys help with evidence or just filing the correct way? We do both. Now, I want to address evidence for you. Part of the analysis paralysis that veterans face is that you always think that you need a nexus letter. If you've been in this game a long time, did you even hear nexus letter 10 years ago? Did you hear a lot about it 5 years ago? No, you didn't. So who do you think it helps for you to think you need a nexus letter? It helps two people. It helps the VA because you're never going to get one because you can't afford it and you can't find a doctor. And it helps the nexus letter mills. These doctors who do nexus letters, they are on a list, and it will hurt your case if you end up using a doctor that's not real or is on this blacklist. The best thing you can do for evidence is your own lay statement, a buddy statement, a piece of evidence from your records, from My Healthy Vet, a DBQ. We have found much better success with the DBQ because the coolest thing ever is the DBQ, the doctors know where the information lives on the DBQ. In a nexus letter, they got to read a 3 to 5 page document. These people do not know what they're reading. They black out in the middle of it and just go, okay, that was too much for me. So we do both. We help you provide them the evidence they actually want to see and make your claim correctly the first time. And Ryan, you said talk about our Skillbridge program. So our Skillbridge program, first let's say, what is a Skillbridge program? Because some of you are like, I don't even know what Skillbridge is. So we employ, I think, 15 people from Skillbridge. We just got some more. If you are active duty in the military right now with 6 months or less to exit, you can go to the DoD's Skillbridge website, find VetComm US, and you can apply to work here in our claims department. And that means that you don't have to work at the military anymore for 6 months. You get to work here full time. And the day that you transition, you automatically have a job upon exiting the service. That's what the Skillbridge program should do. We're actually starting an initiative to help other big corporations make Skillbridge programs because we've found that service members don't have a lot of money to transition with. And that leads to homelessness, anxiety, depression, just loss of purpose in that team atmosphere. And I think that if you talk to the people in our claims department that came from Skillbridge, they were like, thank God this saved my life. Like what purpose I have. I get to stay in sort of a veteran, in a military environment, and I get to help and bless people every single day. So if you're active duty watching this, we would love to hire you into our Skillbridge program.
I see a good question from Cards Fan on YouTube. He said, I had a CMP over the phone that was really short. It was GERD as primary and sleep apnea as secondary. Is that a concern? I guess that it was short.
Yeah. So we don't always sometimes they just won't see you in person. You can't force them to do it. We would rather you be seen in person, but if you saw it over the phone, just because it was short or just because someone was curt to you or just because their interaction with you didn't feel warm and fuzzy, you got to think this. You didn't pay to see them. The VA did. So they don't feel like they owe you customer service. That's just how these doctors are. They literally, while they're on the phone with you, they have screens up and you're talking and they're typing and they're checking boxes, deciding, how they're going to rate you. They might have had enough evidence or what you said convinced them that you were good. I always say, let's wait to see how they adjudicate it to decide how it went. Because I even personally, when I went from 50 to 70 for my mental health, that took me to the 100%, I had maybe the worst CMP exam ever. I left there crying. I sat in my car for about 30 minutes and went, well, that was shit. That did not go well. That lady did not like me. She did not listen to me. She barely even looked up at me. And then boom, 35 days later, I was at 100%. So, I'd like to say that you can judge it by the length of time or how nice the person is, but it just doesn't work that way because these people don't think that they work for you. It's not like when you go see your own doctor and because you pay them, they're trying to give you a little more zhuzh, in your appointment, but the VA doctors are not going to do that. So before we get too sideways about how it went, let's see how it went. If it didn't go well, we'll do a supplemental and we'll take another at-bat.
Not a question, but someone on Instagram, International, says, I was written up for not taking the COVID shot and ended up getting it to avoid not getting promoted, re-enlisted. If there's anything you want to add on that.
Are you? I'm not totally understanding the question. If the person is like currently enlisted, I don't know exactly what the question is. Let's ask a deeper question so I can answer it, and I'm going to answer one more here. Does PTSD always require a CMP exam? Typically, yes, it does. And on another note, I would tell you, don't avoid a mental health CMP exam. And if you have a mental health CMP, you need to go to it in person. If they say, hey, we'd like to do this with you, over the computer, even though it might be easier on you to do it at home because you don't have to leave your house and go see somebody and do all that yuckiness that you don't want to do, it's not going to help you because you're just not going to affect the person the same over this medium. I do this every day, right? I'm live or on the news all the time, so I know how to dial my energy up so I can give you enough energy where you feel like you're here with me. But if you don't do this all the time and you get annoyed at the tech and you hop on irritated, you don't connect with this person, it's not going to go well. So I would definitely say if you can get in front of somebody for a CMP exam, you absolutely need to do it.
Question. We're getting a lot of questions on YouTube.
Okay.
But, one of these questions is the sale the discount just during the live?
So the discount is for the people who are at the live. We sometimes get so busy from the live, they may not talk to you today. They might talk to you tomorrow or the next day. But if you text in 858-360-2227, you automatically go into our CRM and it will timestamp you. And the team that's on right now will know you came from the live. So they will have your name and that will give you the discount. So it is important that while you're watching me live, that you text in free claim review, even if you don't take one. Right? Because if you were at the live, you're going to get the discount, and it's a pretty good discount. 858-360-2227, free claim review. Like, I need water. I'm parched.
Got another question from YouTube while you take a sip of water. Dirty Dan says, I'm at 91% right now. Sleep apnea denied. Dated back in January 2024. Continue to appeal. Going to try to get a higher level review. Submitting new claims. If I get 100 from my new claims now and later get sleep apnea approved, will I get the back pay check?
Well, so you have an open higher level review and you're actively making claims. You're just going to get it back to, if they determine it was the higher level review that actually made you hit the 100, you'll get paid back to the older intent. But if you're making new claims, all the culmination or cumulatively, that's what reached you to 100. You're going to get it to the newest intent to file. What you could do, if you want us to actually get in and look at what you have so we can give you an exact answer, I would text 858-360-2227, text free claim review.
Charles Russell from earlier has been watching for a while now. He says, how long is the discount locked in for? I'm on step 5 of a claim that I submitted myself right now.
We typically leave it open for a couple of weeks because sometimes people trickle in or they're out of town. I would say no matter what, Charles, if you were on this live and your decision comes back and it isn't what you wanted, in a few weeks and you still want the discount, we're not a bunch of a-holes over here. I mean, I was in the Marine Corps. I can be a little bit dickish, but not to veterans. So I would text in 858-360-2227. Get yourself on the list, because if you're on the list, there's a high likelihood that no matter what, this thing is going to give me a seizure. It's like, oh my God. It's like freaking, if I was a vampire, I'd be dead right now. I would be literally dead. Can you turn it down? I'm going to seizure over here. Like, dude. Okay, very good. I'm doing comedy hour over here. My staff is watching me on the Zoom like, this girl is freaking nuts. I've had a day. It's been a week, actually. It's been a whole week today. Do we have any more questions?
No. Okay, no questions for now, but maybe make some announcements about, because I saw Mike Dolbo commenting in the chat, so maybe let him know what we got coming for that.
Yeah, so we have a guest with us today. You guys might have seen him. His name is Mike Dolbo. This poor guy was in the National Guard, had so many horrible things happen to him, and he is in a very difficult situation, a fragile situation in his life. And a good friend of mine that works with me said, hey, Kate, we got to go intervene here and get some things done to him. It's probably going to take us going all the way to Washington to get him rated. But for the time being, we're definitely leaned into him and making sure his head stays above water. So anybody on here who believes in the big G, maybe send up a prayer for Mike Dolbo, because he is an outstanding veteran like all of you who needs our love and support.
And on our YouTube channel, we have part 2 of the 3-part docu-series that just came out. So once you guys are done
Yeah, I would
watching us
say
like
follow
that.
us on YouTube. We
Yes.
put out veteran news every week.
Yep,
We put
veteran
out new
news.
content. We even, aggregate content. We have a relationship with Veteran Info Taps. We do like a truncated little version of his content in case you don't have the whole time to watch him. Ray McCarty, we're hearing about recent decisions that may eliminate denials based which form had been used. What form should be used for an increase if it has been under a year since approval? For the most part, these forms that we're talking about are, if you go see one of the free services, they're going to still do it the old archaic way, and they're going to literally get out a piece of paper, a form, and they're going to write on it, and then they're going to fax it to the VA, and it's going to go in a stack, and a human being's going to have to take this stupid piece of paper and re-enter it into the same damn VA system that we're going to do on day one. So there's no such thing as a form. We're going to tell the computer which thing that we are doing, and it's going to put the correct thing there. We're going to fill it out, and boom, we're on our way. So if we're still filling out forms, you're doing it the longest way possible. You are waiting at the end of the line. I would not be doing that, waiting to hope that your fax goes through. Faxing, only the VA is still faxing. In fact, when I talk to Doug Collins, when I go to DC, I'm like, hey, you want to save some money? Stop this fax shit. Let's just go ahead and use va.gov. Like we're in 2025, not 1985. When did they start faxing? In the 80s.
Oh, man,
90s? I don't.
You're asking me
Too long. Too long ago.
Okay, so we've got a few on Instagram.
Go ahead.
These are kind of a back-to-back questions from different people that are related. So we've got Juan Sense says, I've had VetComm rep me. I've got a CMP exam next week in Tokyo for neck, back, and hips. Anything I should look out for? But then second to that, George Reed Jr. says, do they have CMP exams overseas?
They do have CMP exams overseas. There's an occasion, depending on where you are, they may have a third-party vendor there. It's rare depending on where you are in the world. If it has a lot of infrastructure, they may have some places for you to go. If there's a VA facility there are ways. But a lot of time they're going to do it over this medium. They're going to do it over the computer. What was the previous question?
The original question was
CMP exam. If you're one of our customers and you have an appointment next week and you don't have CMP exam prep, you need to text CMP exam prep to 858-360-2227, and they'll send you over to the customer service team who will get you in for a prep. I'm not going to prep the whole world for your CMP exam because we want to prep you one-on-one just for yourself. So you need to write into the company so someone can get that done for you.
Okay, we've got one more on Instagram. We've got Zeta Rexorbis says, hello, I'm a current client. Thank you for your help. Waiting to meet for my second time. Just wondering if I can submit a supplemental, initial, and a secondary claim at the same time.
A supplemental and a...
Supplemental, initial, and a secondary claim at the same time.
Yes. None of those are really that different. A secondary claim to a primary is just a claim. A supplemental claim's just a claim. You literally click a box, upload a piece of new information, and what was that? A primary? You can make all of those in the same visit with us. I would not worry about that. Yep. They're all different kind of claims, so you have to do the right thing at the right time. And I see Ray here. An increase wants you to use the 526. You're going to do it in va.gov though. And you're going to click the box and it's going to send it to the appropriate place. Trust me, we've done it thousands and thousands of times. If you still use this form, it's still going to get faxed there, still going to get entered in. And you got to hope that person enters it in correctly, because that's half of how these free services get you messed up. They fax in the forms and then another lower level employee just does it sloppy work as fast as they can to shove it into the VA system when we could have done it right the first time. So that's what I would say to you.
Got some questions. Got one from TikTok. What kind of payment plans do y'all have available? Life is getting expensive.
Life is getting expensive. Freaking inflation absolutely crushing us, right? So there's 3 ways to get involved with us. If you can afford to pay all of it up front with no payment plan, we give you a $900 discount. So it's $1,197. If you don't have the $1,197, there's 3 payments of $500 or 6 payments of $350. We don't take any back pay. You only pay us one time, and we guarantee our results. It's literally a no risk proposition to you. If I told a civilian, I could go up to someone's house and go, and they could answer the door, and I could say, hey, do you have $1,197? They'd be like, why? I go, well, if you give me $1,197, I'm going to guarantee you money for the rest of your life tax-free. That civilian would slam the door in my face, run in the house, find their purse or wallet, run back out, give me a hug, and swipe their card and do it 10 times. Only veterans are this skeptical. And I see why. I was skeptical too. I am a veteran too. I'm a Marine Corps veteran with anxiety. So I could tell you I am skeptical too. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't move forward and get our crap done. Let's see. I have paid for your service. I have an appointment set up. Signing up with you guys. Can I get help with your existing claim? Yes. Many people sign up for us. They've made a claim, but they haven't had a CMP exam yet. So they're like, oh, shit, I heard this lady talking. It's like, that CMP exam seems pretty important. I don't want to mess it up. We absolutely need to be talking to you. So if you're already signed up with us, Brent, when you get your forms in the mail that say, hey, you have a CMP exam on this day, you need to reach into customer service. Someone will get on the phone and they will prep you for those exams, whether we made the claims or not. We do it every single day. Probably makes up 15% of our business is just doing CMP exam prep for people who came to us with existing exams.
Teddy from YouTube asks, how long for a decision after CMP exams are completed? How long does that typically take?
So after CMP exams are completed with us, it could be anywhere from 30 days to 90 days. It kind of depends. If it's like, let's say you had PTSD at 50% and they got you in pretty quick, you're likely to pop pretty fast, 30 to 45 days, if it's just that one thing. If you got 10 things, it's a bunch of orthopedics and some PACTAC stuff and stomach and mental health, they might rate part of it, in 45 to 90 days and then rate another part of it. There's many ways that they do it. It also goes by regional. There's places where you live in the country that's faster than places where other people live in the country. So that part we don't have as much control over. What we can control is making the claim on time, making it correctly, preparing you and providing you the customer service you need to be able to go through this whole journey. Because it can get very taxing sitting at home by yourself, checking your freaking app every minute. Like, am I rated now? Am I rated now? How about now? No, you're not rated yet. Put the phone down. In fact, I would tell all of you, so that you can stop all this checking of the phone anxiety, set yourself like maybe once or twice a week, a little alarm, check my VA. And then just check it then. It's like you don't weigh yourself every day when you're on a diet, right? You do it like on Wednesday, not on Monday because you ate bad over the weekend. You set it and forget it and then just go and check it and go, okay, I did it or I didn't. Now, I will tell you this. I'm going to give everybody on the phone the VA's 1000 number. It's 800-827-1000. 800-827-1000. That's the catch-all number for the VA. If you're stuck at stage 5 for freaking billion years, just call and ask for an update, and they'll give it to you.
I got another question from Paul on YouTube. Can I connect my diabetes to service?
Yes.
As a firefighter,
yes, you can.
Using a triple F under Terra.
Yes, you can. So connecting diabetes as a primary is only going to come through exposure. Connecting diabetes to other things is more common. It's more common that it can be a secondary, but certainly when and where you served, what you did for your MOS job or rate title, whatever it is, that's going to dictate if it's a primary or a secondary. If you directly got exposed to something known to cause it, or you took a medication known to cause it, or you got obese and that's known to cause it, we just sort of have to do a strategy with you to figure out what's the best course of action to get it rated. Anyone else? Okay. Before we go, I want to tell everybody that is still watching us. As I said before, there is a reason that you came here today. There's a reason that some of you have watched this more than one time and you haven't signed it up yet. It's because you do too much watching and not enough winning. You watch too much content. Okay, it can be a rabbit hole. And then there's people out there that will say one thing and then you hear a new thing and you're like, well, shit, I thought I had a plan. Now I don't have a plan. Like, what do I do? And you sit there in this eddy just spinning around, doing nothing, spinning your wheels. When really, if you had done it the first time you saw me months ago live, you'd already be rated. Okay, you're losing up to $100 a day. Up to $100 a day. So get off the bench and get out of the trench and text free claim review to 858-360-2227 and do it now. That's what you want to be doing. We have I paid and my appointment is set for 5/2 and I need help now with current active claims. If you need help before May 2nd, which is the day after my birthday, if anyone wants to send me a gift, then I would go ahead and text in 858-360-2227 and tell them I am a customer. I need some help from you, and they'll get you over to the customer service department. What if I don't remember what's in my service treatment records? You probably won't remember what's in your service treatment records, but I'd like to think that you probably remember what happened to you. So you might not remember if you got it documented or not, but you probably remember if you sprained your ankle or hit your head or had a PTSD event or were assaulted or got exposed to things. You know, if you have a tummy ache every freaking day, right? You know, if you have migraines, bring that to us and let's vet it all out and see what we can and what we cannot claim. How often do we have live calls? Every Thursday at 3:30, we have a live call. Mike Dolbo says, you guys seem way more knowledgeable than all the people I've used in the last 30 years. That's probably because we do it at such a high rate. Every single one of the staff members on my team that make claims do 8 to 10 claims a day, while the average VSO in San Diego does 6 to 8 a month. So they do more in one day than these people are doing in a month. So you got to think we see a lot. And the cool part about us doing so much is that we know when to pivot, right? We know the VA does not like this certain claim right now. Let's put a pin in that and go and do some. Can you, Lexi's personal iPhone, can you mute please on Zoom? There we go. Had a little thing going on over here on our Zoom, but we're good. I don't remember exactly what I was saying, but I love veterans very much. And I will tell you this, I work almost 7 days a week, whether it be lobbying, running this company, being on the news for you, keeping veteran stuff front of mind for the VA, for this administration, just for the general public. No one is going to go to bat harder for you than me and my team. Do we do everything perfect? No, because we're human beings and neither do you. Right? But we will correct our mistakes. We are the one of the kind of company that goes, yep, we didn't call you back. We're the worst. And now we've called you 10 times and we'll bug you to death to make up for it. So we are just the spirit. If you could hear one of our calls, if you were on our Wednesday call, it would probably make you cry to hear a company talk about their customers, which are veterans, in the way that we do. We will often cry when we hear somebody's good news story. When we hear that a little old couple who is sleeping with a tarp over their bed can now put a roof on their house and they're not getting rained on anymore, and they can buy the good cheese, and they've gone on the first trip that they've been on in 30 years, that really touches you. That's what makes us get up every single day for you, because we love you. And I will leave you with this. You better get on this list. 858-360-2227. Let's get it done. Comment free, claim, review. You guys have a blessed night. If there's no more questions. All right. Good night, everyone.